Welcome back, my friends, to the temporary finale of what has been our InfiniTeam journey. Trying to tell you something through all of this. InfiniTeam is really strong, it's versatile, you can use it pretty much every game if you want to climb. I want to do a detailed analysis of what I think is the strongest build, which is the InfiniTeam Sureshot. I'm gonna do a full force of it a little bit later once I can put all the videos together. Before we get started, here's the graphic. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things to help the YouTube algorithm. And with that said, let's get started. First set of augments, 3 really good choices for 3 different builds. First aid kit is great if you're doing Rift Walkers, Mascots, Luden Echoes, any of the Spellslinger builds, but Thrill of the Hunt works into a bunch of different builds. It can go into Animaniacs, it can go into any InfiniTeam build, it can go into a Gadgetine build, it can go into a lot of different builds. So I picked that one up. I had a 2-star Pantheon, so I'm picking up other elements for the InfiniTeam Sureshot, but ultimately just making the strongest team I can for the first round, which involved getting a 2-star Poppy and then filling in with Riven, who is just an additional defender. So as you can see, the front line is really tanky, hard to take down. You will see here, however, that Trinity Force is a really nasty early item for Gangplank, as he is just able to ult his way through the team, doing enough damage to take them down. And even though Riven gets most of her health back with Thrill of the Hunt, it is not enough to hold up against that ult. Now, I have mentioned before that InfiniTeam is usually a fast start, but there's one key component to that. Actually having the InfiniTeam. When you don't have the InfiniTeam, you don't get the extra player, you don't get the extra item, and the supporting cast around it isn't necessarily as strong, so you're going to be hoping for your later game to pick it up. And this is what I'm talking about. Once you have the InfiniTeam together, you get that extra player on the board who comes with an item that fits them. Warmogs is a great item for Pantheon. That allows us to hold their team up longer, and even though they have Ascension, it's not enough to ultimately allow them to cut through, and we win that round. It's time for the second augment, and it's a hero augment. Go mana tempering if you are going Sureshot, because that is going to similarly increase your attack damage. It happens with every cast and it's stackable, but since Sureshots are stacking attack damage, and it's an attack damage based build, go with it. Now here's the thing with this build. It is going to come down to Samira, like it or not. A strong Samira, you're going to win. If you're not able to get a strong Samira, you are going to fall off at 7, and you might not ever see the latter stages of the game. You are going to need her to make this work. Now, my favorite Samira items are Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, and Hand of Justice. It gives you a ton of crit chance and will also shred armor, so I grabbed the bow there for the Last Whisper along with that sparring glove. But if you have something like Thrill of the Hunt, then you don't need the Hand of Justice as much, because that comes with some healing, which you will not need. So that opens up your possibilities to other items. So I picked up a Samira just before this fight started, got a Last Whisper on her, and we'll get her in soon. But right now we're just going with what we have to see how it's going to go. Most likely course right now will be to pull Rammus out and put Samira in so we get more power. I wanted to make sure to get Samira into the match because Sureshot ramps 2, 3, 4, 5, so you're getting a bonus when you go from 2 to 3. If that had not been the case, I might not have, but notice that my other Sureshots, even though Samira went down, they're gaining power and able to control the match. And it's the NPC round with our final individual item choice, barring getting an Urgot. Sword, easy choice, that gives us the Infinity Edge, but we have a choice here. A Sureshot Crest would allow us to go to 5, which is a pretty nice bonus, but we don't have fantastic itemization, so we go with Portable Forge. Infinity Force will absolutely work on Samira, especially since, as I mentioned, we do not need the Hand of Justice since she already has healing via the Thrill of the Hunt. It's so important that you change your items based on your augments. If you look up best in slot for Samira, you're going to find Hand of Justice as a required item. But again, it's really for the healing. If you have it in other places, you can substitute it, and Samira took over the damage charts despite the fact that she's only 1 star. And now that Samira is 2 stars, watch how she just takes over the match. When she casts, she is able to knock things down. Now, there is an augment called Style and Flare, which, if she ever gets, makes it almost impossible to beat her. And that's because she'll be refunding mana with each kill, which means she's going to be ulting more often, killing more often, refunding more mana, and yeah, it's just a vicious, vicious cycle. But let's look at our item choice here. We've got a lot to choose from, since we have a gold 3-star Ashe who is ramping attack damage as she goes thanks to the Sure Shot buff. I picked that up for her. The Defender emblem will go on Rammus. This will increase his and Shen's armor. And of course, Rammus's attack is based on his armor, so he'll be doing more damage now. And one thing I do when running Sure Shots or Quick Draw or anything like that is separate them out for exactly this reason. Misfortune cannot wipe the team, and I can. And you can see Samira just goes in and wipes their team with an ult. And you may remember before we picked up Samira, we were in last place with 10 health, and now we're in first place with 10 health. The change was getting Samira on the team. Now, while Samira is necessary for this build, one of the good things is she's not that in demand in Hyper Roll. Your keys are going to be itemization, and you need the crit and the shred, and then she will lead you into the top 4. Now, ultimately, you're going to want to get an Ezreal. For this item choice, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Zeke's Herald, put it on Lucian, and stick him in between Samira and Twisted Fate, since they will both benefit from having a little more attack speed. I like to finish this off with Fiddlesticks because he will keep people away from Samira. Last item choice, I debate with the Archangel Staff for Twisted Fate, but Ashe is sitting in that corner with that Deathblade, so we grab her a Runin's Hurricane so she's just doing more damage. We really do need to get Ezreal. He is our 4th Sure Shot, and that will give us a lot more damage. But we're already going to be putting out a ton. Again, watch Samira, and this is especially since we have Thrill of the Hunt. As fast as she is losing health, she gains it back, because when she ults, she just ricochets from person to person, and because she's an ace, they will go down quickly. Once you find yourself an Ezreal, Lucian can go away. Any items on Lucian can end up going over to Twisted Fate, since they are both AP champions, so Twisted Fate will benefit from the Lucian items. It doesn't hurt to have additional attack speed on Ezreal, so he can hold the Zeke's Herald. As you know, he is going to ult the entire board, so he will be doing damage everywhere, but it really is setting up for Samira to bring them down. They will get lower due to Ezreal, and Samira will execute anything under 15%. You can see there, Shen ends up shielding Samira, keeps her alive through Misfortune's ult. Fiddlesticks does his best to distract everyone. Samira takes the full brunt of Misfortune's ult, but comes back to nearly full health thanks to the Thrill of the Hunt, and it is GG for everyone. Infinite Sure Shots, I'll be doing a force on this build unless they make some major change. As always, hope you have an absolutely awesome day.